You, new us, new outlook. And in fact, a number of governments and organisations worldwide are looking to curb unhealthy eating and living at the moment. We've just had that UK junk food ad ban come into place at the beginning of January over in the UK. That bans junk food ads on daytime TV and online. And a little closer to home, right here in the UAE, as of January the 1st this year, we have seen the UAE as a whole implementing a new tiered excise tax system for sweetened beverages, which started on January the 1st. OK, how does it affect us? Let's put that question to a man whose business is affected by this. Spinneys are, of course, stockers and sellers of a number of sugar-based products. But how does this new excise tax impact on their business? Let's ask the GM of commercial at Spinneys, Tom Harvey, who's been kind enough to join us early in 2026. Morning, Tom.
Good morning.
So before we go any further, your understanding of the new excise tax, what products is this impacting on?
Right, it's affecting a much broader range of products than before. And I should probably caveat this as we're talking sort of tax. I am neither a tax expert, tax lawyer, so this is my interpretation. But it's about all drinks that are sweetened. I think probably what's important to sort of try and explain where we are now is also to have a very, very quick history lesson. So back in 2018 was when we got the first excise tax come in on sweetened drinks and energy drinks and tobacco all at the time. And there were several different tiers for different products. So for energy drinks, there was 100% excise tax, and for sweetened carbonated drinks, it was 50%. So what that meant was if on the 31st of December 2017, I'd been selling a can of a sweetened beverage for 2 dirhams, on the 1st of January 2018, it went up by 50%. It went up to 3 dirhams. And so there was a whole dirham of tax. Now, the new system is different. What we had before was something that just went across the board, so it didn't matter whether it was sweetened with sugar or sweetened with artificial sweeteners, everything got a tax. This is a far, far more progressive, far more logical way to tax products in order to actually really encourage healthier behaviours by making those drinks that have got less sugar, and especially those that have got no sugar, much, much more affordable for consumers.
Let's look at it from a couple of angles. Obviously, Spinneys have a number of home brands that you, of course, create in-house as well, and there could be implications there. But let's talk about well-known pops, if you like, that you also stock in store. Where's the responsibility lie in terms of pricing for that? Have the prices gone up for you to buy from that vendor?
It varies. So the responsibility lies either with the person who's importing, so there's a lot that I'm responsible for importing, or if it's somebody who's manufacturing locally, then the responsibility for the excise tax sits with the local manufacturer. So let's take those two, famous brands manufactured locally. Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola are both manufactured here. In the case of their products, they are responsible for the tax. If it was a different cola that I'm bringing in, that I'm importing from the States, then I'm responsible for it.
In terms of those that you produce in-house, and I know that I don't think there's a home brand fizzy drink yet, but I know that you do a lot of juices and blends as well. Are things like that also going to be affected?
Yeah, they are. So look, if I just go through the sort of the different tiers. So what's changed now? They look at the content of sugar per 100 millilitres. So anything that has more than 8 grams of sugar per 100 millilitres will be taxed at 1 dirham and 9 fils per litre. Mm-hmm. Anything that's between 5 grams and up to 8 grams of sugar per 100 millilitres will be taxed at 79 fils per litre. And anything with no sugar, with less than 5 grams per 100 millilitres, or something that is only sweetened with artificial sweeteners, i.e. has no natural sugars in it, there's no tax.
So there are elements that are exempt, like low sugar drinks, as you mentioned there, artificialities as well, could potentially be exempt. I suppose what it boils down to is if Brandy and I come over to a Spinneys store today, how much more are we paying for a product that is now got this excise duty on
Well,
it?
you shouldn't be paying anything more. In fact, you should be paying less on just about everything. So I know certainly in terms of all of the products that Spinneys is responsible for the excise on, all of those are going down in price.
Wow.
What we're also going to see is that even with those that are being manufactured locally, the retail selling price to you, the customer, on those that are no sugar or are low sugar, they will also be going down. So whereas in the past you might have seen the diet cola, the zero cola, the full fat version all at the same price, each of those now will be at a different price, and the better for you, those with less sugar, will cost less on the shelf.
Praise across the board, medical profession, dental profession, healthcare workers, etc. Is that the case? Have you heard any grumbles from manufacturers on this one?
We haven't yet. I mean, as always happens, the grumbles tend to come out a little bit after the legislation's come into enforcement. We did have to move very quickly because the actual amounts of excise were set early in December, which is obviously an incredibly quiet period for us as a retailer, and we're not doing a lot else to keep ourselves busy. But so far, it's been fairly smooth sailing. We've not had any grumbles over the weekend, so it's looking good so far.
Yeah, it makes sense as well, given, of course, the public health sentiment, the incentives, I should say, to producers as well, and this GCSE alignment as well, in terms of efforts to standardise sugar taxes. It's not the only new rules that have come into play since the beginning of the year. We've also had an update on the single-use plastics rules as well. Again, massive organisation like Spinneys, with a lot of plastic products in-house as well. What's your reading of that at the moment? Because there seems to be a number of comments coming through from some of our listeners about products still available out there.
Yeah, so I think some of this can also be a little bit of confusion. So we're certainly very supportive of not only anything that's trying to reduce single-use plastics, but actually more broadly single-use materials, I think is the approach that we look at. The new legislation has come in. It is effective in Dubai only. Although we as a business, purely because it's far more simplistic for us to operate our business, are actually applying this across the entire nation. So there are more elements that have come in, such as coffee cup lids and some of the other items such as cutlery. But it is only relating to, it's got to be careful and say it's not just about plastic. So it's about single-use, non-recycled. So there are quite a lot of products that we have which are still plastic, but they are made from recycled PET. So you'll see that. People will also look at our cutlery and might say, hey, what's going on? This is still plastic. Well, actually, it's not. All the cutlery we use in our stores is made from recycled palm leaves, courtesy of Palm Aid, who were one of the old Spinneys Incubator winners a few years ago. Wow. So there's quite a few things that actually they will still look like plastic. They might still smell like plastic, but they're not plastic. And even if they are plastic, they could well be recycled, so it's okay.
Spinneys on top of it, that's for sure. Tom, can't thank you enough. It's early doors in 2026. You're ready in answering our questions this morning, so thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.
More from Mr. Harvey, I'm sure, in the coming weeks, months throughout 2026. But a big thanks to Tom for joining us live in studio. That was Tom Harvey, General Manager Commercial at Spinneys. This is the Business Breakfast.